we're on a countdown, and I'm waiting to actually go live on Amazon Live. So waiting for the stream. It says I can go live. So 3, 2, 1, and we're live on Amazon. Hello, Amazon. Thank you for joining me today. I'm just going to catch up, and I've been broadcasting for Be Live in the Be Livers group, and I'm just waiting for everything to count down, and it is counting down, so all is good. And I'm now going to take that card off screen, and you can see me. Okay, hello. This is Stephen England. Quick bit of scene setting first, and then I'll get down to the broadcast itself. I just need to turn that light round, even though I'm not using it. And the second thing is I need to move the iPad stand, which of course is from Amazon. So now I'm back. Now we can settle in. And I want to say, first of all, welcome to the show. Now, I've been broadcasting for 6 years, and I do my broadcasting on Be Live. That's where I'm broadcasting from today. And we are touring England with Stephen. And I'm just going to, no, we're okay. I think we're okay. Okay, so thank you for joining me. Now, when I came up with the idea of touring England with Stephen, it was basically to go around the UK, England, and actually show you properties in England which are maintained by English Heritage and the National Trust. And it's a mix of castles and country houses. And we do that by basically visiting the web pages, and I'll give you my stories about the places we're actually visiting, and also tell you a little bit about each of the places that we visit. So the castles are looked after by English Heritage. And without further ado, if I hide that page, don't want that anymore, I can hide that page and share my screen. And let's go picture in picture. Okay, now first thing I'm going to do, I'm in the Be Live studio. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller so that you can see more of the picture, and that will work. Okay, so now I've shrunk. If you're watching on Amazon Live, thank you. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, thank you for watching. If you are on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, I can show your comments on screen. And Chris, hello, Chris, and Chris is confirming they are live. Oh, now then, my next comment is from a long lost friend. Well, he's not been lost ever, I presume. But hello, David, and it is brilliant to actually see you watching this. I'm actually, as you can see, live on Facebook. I'm live on LinkedIn now. We can go live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, and most importantly, live on Amazon Live. So if you're watching an Amazon Live, and the link is up above if you want to join me in Amazon Live, then please do so. It's good to have friends, and it's good to, well, it's good to connect. I mean, I've used live video for networking and met hundreds of people all around the globe. David and Chris are two such friends. And incredibly, David, I am still broadcasting. And these days, I'm broadcasting everywhere. When David and I started broadcasting, you could broadcast on Facebook and YouTube. Now we can broadcast everywhere. Anyway, back on point. When I first started this, I was thinking about I'd give you a tour of England, and then I thought about the English Trust, English Heritage and National Trust. And I thought, well, I'm actually going to change the title of this Tuesday broadcast, which goes out at 2:00 on Amazon Live every Tuesday, to castles, country houses, and other things that I like. Okay, well, not the things I like bit, but I'm actually going to change it. Now, castles in England, we are blessed with so many castles, and English Heritage care for more castles than anybody else. And on their webpage, and you just need to type in English Heritage into your browser, and you'll find all the properties that they look after. Angelica and I tend to go out at weekends and visit castles and country houses, and that's when we do the videos, and the videos get shown on the broadcast every Wednesday. Today is a look, well, as these are the people who maintain the properties, they're the best people to actually show the properties at their best. Now, some of them I've actually been to, and where I've been to them, I shall tell you the story of my visit, and we can play videos as well because we're on Be Live. And there you have it. Now that's basically, if I press the visit a castle button, I don't know what's going to happen during this broadcast, but I'm just pressing a button and hopefully this page will load, and there it is. And we're going to get in seconds, well, possibly longer than seconds, we're going to get a map of the UK showing the location of all the castles. Now, I'm impressed by that. You can see the shape of the UK, of England. So there are castles from the north east, up in Newcastle, down to Cornwall in the southwest. And I know you can't see my cursor at the moment, but I live around about, well, if that was a boot, I live at the top of the boot. Okay, so those are all the castles, which we can visit them. But what I've decided to do in terms of putting this show together is what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together an A to Z list of all the castles. And then we're going to go A through Z for castles, and at the same time go A through Z for country houses. And we're actually going to visit the country houses virtually. And then one by one over the years, Angelica and I will visit, we'll film a short video, we'll play the video in the show. If I find videos on the pages on YouTube, then we shall play those too. So let's go back to the screen share. And wow, I didn't know we had so many castles in England. So if I click on a castle at random, it tells me that's Ashby de la Zeus Castle, which is in Leicestershire. Okay, and if I close that, if we click on the castle there, we shall go down to Dover Castle. And Dover Castle I've actually been to, and it was always on our way when we're traveling from Dover port over to France for about 10 years. First went by ferry, then by hovercraft, then by sea cat, and then when they built the Channel Tunnel, we went under the tunnel as well. Not under the tunnel, in the tunnel. I know David's watching. And then castles in my area where I am, down there, Sherbourne Castle, which we will definitely visit and will film. And there's one right at the end there, and that's Pendenes Castle. Okay, and St. Catherine's Castle. So it would seem that we have hundreds of castles that we can actually visit, which is absolutely brilliant. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm heading over. I'll tell you what I'm doing. That's probably a good idea. Okay, now the Amazon live page is not integrated into my studio, which means that in order to watch what's happening on Amazon, every so often I need to hop over from where I am to the Amazon page. Now, I'm not being rude. I'm just going over to look at the Amazon page to make sure I don't miss anything. I can also monitor the Amazon page from my iPad. And thank you. Hello, Chris, and hello, Simon. This is a wonderful live stream, by the way. Thank you. And thank you. All right. Okay. And thank you for following. If you do follow me, I'm not going to blast anybody. Basically, if you follow me, then what happens is this. Whenever I go live, and I go live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on Amazon Live, you'll get a notification, which means you get a heads up 10 minutes before I go live. Stephen's live, would you like to go and watch? That's all there is. There's no marketing involved. It's just that reminder for the days that I'm live, and say hello to another of my friends, and thumbs up from Bertola. Nice to see you. Okay, and thank you for joining me on Facebook. I just need to drag that down the screen. And another comment coming in. And Ryan, you're giving a shout out to Ryan. Ryan, another good friend, much mutual friend of Bertola and I, and be good. Now, as I say, I'm broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, but my prime area is to be live on Amazon Live. I'm having a blast, it has to be said. I enjoy being live on Amazon Live so much. I'm so grateful that Amazon let me do it. Simple as that. So let's take me off solo and go back to the map. So we're actually touring England with the help of English Heritage. And what we're going to do, if my geography is good, I'm going to click that. And that's Old Oswestry Fort. And if I go over a bit, Acton Burnell Castle, I can tell you a little bit about all these. And if I go there, Peel Castle, and if I go there, I could tell this is the first time I've been around this map, so forgive me if I get carried away and I start looking at things. I'm looking for something in particular. Let's go up here. We can go all over the UK, and obviously geography plays a part. Peel Castle we've just been to, and that castle, Carlisle Castle. Okay, we're going to go to Carlisle Castle in a minute. We're going to have a look around, courtesy of English Heritage. And English Heritage, if you are going to visit, hopefully we can visit the US and you can visit the UK soon. In fact, I heard today somebody actually going over to the US. His spouse is American and therefore can visit. I think. But hopefully we'll be able to do travel. And when we can travel, rather than showing this virtually, you'll be able to visit for yourself. That's the idea. So the idea of this broadcast is to give you an overview of the castles that you can visit in the UK. Some of them I've been to, some of them I want to go to. So you understand where I'm coming from. So let's go back to the map, and I'm going to go and visit Carlisle Castle. Okay, now it depends on my internet, but there we have it. We're on Carlisle Castle, and it's Castle Way, Carlisle, Cumbria. And what do you need to know? Do you need to book? At the moment, we've got a situation we need to book, but this is what you can see and do. You can see Queen Mary's Tower. Now, Queen Mary was imprisoned in the tower at the castle at Carlisle. Carlisle Castle was built as a defence against the Picts in Scotland. And Queen Mary, at the behest of the Queen, was actually put in solitary confinement at Carlisle Castle. You can also visit the exhibition. Shall we visit the exhibition? Okay, because we can do anything. We've got time. And Queen Mary's Tower, you can see a larger picture now. You can see the exhibition details. It was also, besides being prison for Queen Mary, it was a jail as well, and prisoners carved. And there's the warden's apartment. That's where the warden of the jail lived. Quite well. And then the history of the military, Cumbrian military. Now, one thing you should notice before we continue is every English heritage property you visit has a cafe. The other thing you should know is that, as opposed to high street cafes, they're reasonably priced. The other thing you should know is that the food is fresh and cooked on the premises. So if you visit an English heritage property, you can have a look around and then you can dine in some style after you've done the visit. Okay. Now, all the properties I'm showing you are on the English Heritage website, and I'm going to go back. the page, and I mean, basically, as I said earlier, we're actually blessed with so many different properties you can visit. And just excuse me a moment. Okay, I'm just going to come full screen. We'll go back to castles in a second, but down in the carousel, I just want to speak about the carousel for a moment. You've got binoculars, okay? Then you do need, if you're actually going to be walking around castles, a decent pair of boots, okay? Those are the ones that I've chosen. And despite talking about the beauty of the English heritage meals, there is also the fact that you can take a picnic, and you can picnic in the grounds, and you need a picnic basket for that, so I've included that as well. And if you're doing a lot of walking and you're around Carlisle way, then you're in hilly country, and therefore walking sticks now. And you also need to carry some water with you. So you're getting the idea now, because I'm not going to go on. I will come back to the carousel later, but you'll find items in the carousel which will be of great use to you when you are touring England and touring castles. Okay, so that's the commercial break. There are some interesting articles in the carousel. You just slide. If you click on an item, you'll still be able to hear me, but you can go and read about the item. What I don't do, as you've probably gathered by now, is I'm not going to bring each 40 Amazon pages up and talk about them. What I'm actually doing is giving you a guided tour of English castles and country houses. That's the way it is. If you want to look at the carousel, please do. If you want to follow me, please do. But I'm English and very restrained. So we are using English heritage. In a previous broadcast, we visited Stonehenge. We've also been to Avebury. Now, Avebury is looked after by the National Trust. I'll come back to Avebury, but if you want to know more about Avebury, I'm live tomorrow, and I shot this weekend a short film about Avebury, and I'll be playing that video. And I am down in Wiltshire in England, and you are watching. Okay, I can take that one off. You're watching Stephen Healy live from Wiltshire in England. Now, I'm giving you my view. I'm telling you my stories about the properties we're actually visiting. And if you've got anywhere that you would like me to visit in England on your behalf virtually, then please do that. Now, my friends are actually popping in, so I'm going to switch that off and say hello to Karen. And Karen and I broadcast together many times. Karen lives over in San Diego on the west coast. So it's probably round about something past 11 in the morning over there. So Karen, thank you for joining me. The link for Amazon Live is up above. Click that link and you can actually join me in Amazon Live. You can see what's in my carousel, and you get a great quality experience in Amazon Live. Amazon Live is becoming the place to actually broadcast. I mean, I got Marco introduced me to it and said I should do it. Brigetti is over here on Amazon Live. I think Corinda is trying to get an Amazon Live too. David Burrows is on Amazon Live, and I've probably missed somebody. Okay, so if you're on Amazon Live and you're watching me now, please say hello. And over to Chris. And Chris is saying, hi, Karen. I love that. Sorry, Chris is saying, hi, Karen. I love when people start talking to each other during a live broadcast. And we've got a bit of banter going on. Amazon Live is, that's going to scroll in a minute. I know it's going to scroll. I'm in the Be Live studio. And if you see this logo anywhere, I'm just going to show it on screen. If you see this logo anywhere, and I'm waiting for the logo to come up, and I'm going to apply it. I'm in the I got it right. I'm in the Be Live studio, broadcasting direct to Amazon Live. You could equally well use OBS. Amazon, but I'm a Be Live. I work for Be Live. Amazon Live is definitely fun, and Karen's on Amazon Live too. There you have it. Okay, and back to the comments. I'm just going to move that down so I can see them. And Karen is saying hello to Chris, and smiling. Okay, So let's go back to my picture in picture and continue our tour of castles. All the castles are actually looked after by English Heritage. And if we go back to the page, this is what you can see. You can see the warden's apartment, the prisoner's carving, an exhibition, and Queen Mary's Tower. And if I go back one, we should be getting towards going back to our map in a second or two. Depends on the speed of my internet. I'm going to press back again. We'll see what happens. Yes, we're back to the map. Okay. And this is the map of all the castles that are in the UK. I know Angelica may be watching or not. I'm not sure. Hopefully she is. This is the map of the castles going from the north of England down to the south. And if I click on a castle, we're doing it random today, but in future broadcasts, I will be doing this with some purpose. We'll do an A to Z of, right, shall we visit our first A, which is Ashby de la Zouch. Ashby de la Zouch is an amazing place because as well as actually visiting the castle, and you can see the castle in the slideshow that's appearing now, you can actually visit the zoo. Ashby de la Zouch is famous for its zoo as well, so you can do two things in the same visit to the same town. You can view the castle, and you've got a map there of where the castle is actually in the centre, and you can book your visit in advance. And it's in Leicestershire in England. Leicestershire is the home of Leicester cheese. Now, if I scroll down, it's a great day out in Leicestershire, and the property began as a manor house in the 12th century. So we're looking at something which is 9,000 years old, nearly 1,000 years old, and became a castle in the 15th century. You do need to book. There is a guidebook which you can actually use, and this is what you have at Ashby de la Zouch. And nearby you've got castles you can go and visit. And now we're down to Ashby de la Zouch, and you have a situation where we can see the overview, and probably somebody's done a drone of this. So what I'm going to do in future episodes, because now we've decided this is castles, country houses, and anything else that Stephen can find, I'm going to look out for videos, short videos that can actually play to give you a better idea of what we're looking at. When we went to Castle in the Midlands, I was able to find a video. Now, this is a point I do want to make in every episode that I do, so I'm going to come back to me. As you've just seen, you can be a member of English Heritage. Now, if you come to England and you're going to visit more than one castle, you should make yourself a member of English Heritage for the duration. Now, you can have a 30-day ticket or you can buy an annual pass. Okay, check those out on the English Heritage site. But the beauty of that is that if you've got a pass, then you can visit any of the properties I'm showing you without paying more. Yeah. The other thing is that you're directly supporting the upkeep of all the properties that English Heritage look after. Now, English Heritage survive off subscriptions from UK residents and also from people actually visiting. It's all, they are charities. It's all, they need money, is what I'm trying to say. And if you're visiting, you can give English Heritage money and you can save money if you buy a pass. Okay, so let's go back to Ashby de la Zouch, and I'm going to find out why it was called that. But membership starts from £51 to give you an idea. So from $70 for an individual upwards, and you pay that fee once, and you can visit all the castles. Okay, and if we go to the history of the castle. Again, I'm still on the same website. I'm only looking at the English Heritage website. And Ashby de la Zouch Castle was the purpose-built seat of one of the most powerful men in the late 15th century, William Lord Hastings. And it became a castle in 1500. And there's a beautiful photograph of the castle. Now, the thing is that you will be able to see exhibitions of what the castle looked like in its pomp, in its prime. Okay, and you get the history of the manor, and you can actually tour the castle, and there's an impression. This is it. This is, I mean, it's difficult. If we go back to this picture, It's difficult to imagine what it looked like looking at that picture. But if we actually scroll down, we can see that the building itself was on 3 stories, and it's been recreated so that we can take it now. We did have a civil war, and if you remember your history, that's Roundheads versus Cavaliers, and Zeus Castle, in fact, was involved in the war, and you'll learn more about that when you visit Zeus. And there's the story of Ivanhoe, and gives details of the person who actually wrote it. So this is Zeus Castle, which is quite impressive and well worth a visit. So we're going to go to our final castle of the day. I'm going to press back on the browser and back again. And basically, this is like sticking a pin in a map. I'm going to take one place at random before we start our tour. And I'm looking for something. I've got to be honest here. I'll be honest. I'm looking for something that I know something about. So give me a second. Okay, we'll find it in a minute. Wigmore Castle, no. You could probably know your castles better than I do. Let's go down here. I must burn up my English history. So that's a keep. And we started off here. Let's go to Dover Castle. Okay, so Dover is the embarkation point. If you're going from England to France, you could go in the Channel Tunnel, you could go by hovercraft, you could go by ferry, you can travel, but we're staying in Kent in Dover. And I'm just going to scroll up and we'll get an impression. Now, one of the things that does happen, if you're timing your visit right, you can see an advert there for the Knights Tournament. There are, throughout England, reenactment troops, we'll call them, and they move around the castles, and you can actually watch a recreation of a battle by knights in armor if you time your visit right. So before you come over, decide on the castles you want to visit, make a list of them, and then find out every castle has a list of events. Okay, so if you want to see knights in battle, you want to be over in England in August this year, and it's half the month left, and you can watch knights in action. Okay, so Dover Castle. Let's just magnificent rooms, and we go down. Details on visiting. You can spend the weekend at Dover Castle, and you can have a look round. There are quests that you can actually follow and things to see and do. There is plenty to see and do at the castle. There's the Great Tower. There's the Fire Command Post, historical interpretations, conservation in action. And it's just, you can explore it. And it has a history in the Second World War as well. It's a fascinating place. If you want to order in advance, you can order the guidebook. And you can see the timeline here. It was an Iron Age hill fort, then became a Roman lighthouse, because remember, this is where shipping is key. And then let's see more, shall we? We'll go down. A 7th century Minster Church, then St. Mary's Church was built, and then a Norman castle. So the castle was originally built in 1066. And if you know your history, that's William the Conqueror landed in England, was victorious at the Battle of Hastings against Harold, and built the castle at Dover, the first castle. Before that, it was a church. And then it was rebuilt in 1180 by Henry I. Then it became the home of the first royal fleet. This is the time when England was beginning to dominate the seas. It withstood a great siege in 1216, and the castle, it took 40 years to complete the castle. It was taken over by the Montforts. It was improved. Then it went in decline. Then, like the other castle we looked at earlier, it took part in the Civil War. It also took part in the Napoleonic Wars between 1793 and 1815. So this is a castle. This is a war castle. This is steeped in history. We're actually going back to Napoleon. and then it was passed into state care in 1904. During the Second World War, in 1939-45, Churchill had a war room in the basement of the castle. He had rooms there. You can see what the rooms actually looked like. In 56, it came out of military use. Then it was put into the care of the nation in 1963, and the English Heritage now look after the castle. So Dover Castle has definitely got to be on the list of castles that you actually visit, because its history goes back to Saxon times, to the arrival of Harold, his battle at Hastings, where he was victorious. He took over, he became King of England and established castles to defend England against other invaders. And Dover Castle was one of those. And I would suggest that you actually go and visit it. You can actually, I mean, there are plenty of hotels in Dover to stay in, and you can tour the castle, and then you can go further afield. You can go to France or over to Spain from Dover on the ferry, or you can try out the Channel Tunnel. Channel Tunnel is an amazing experience. We've used it when it first opened. You take your car down to the Channel Tunnel terminal. You drive onto the train, which is weird. You drive onto a train with your car, doors close, and then you travel through the tunnel under the English Channel, and you come out the other side in France, and you drive off the train. And it's probably one of the few places where you can actually drive on and off a train, and the train is faster than if you'd driven the distance or swum, definitely. Okay, so English Heritage is one of the sites that we're looking at, and they're responsible for the castles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an A to Z of castles. And we'll do 3 different castles every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll do 2 different castles, and then we'll do 2 English Heritage properties. And then I need to change my costume at the moment. So English Heritage is where we've been looking at. If you type English Heritage into Google, you find the page, and then you can have your own virtual tour of the places we visited and all the properties and castles that English Heritage look after. And I say, I'm going to do an A to Z of castles. I'm going to get videos. I'm going to get the backing information that we need, and I'm going to give you a proper tour of 2 castles each week, possibly 3. Okay, now, Angelica and I are members of the National Trust, and every week we go and visit National Trust properties. And I'm going to give you a glimpse now of, well, if I can find it. This is one of the things, I've got so many things in my studio that I'm going to try and find. Right, okay, this is a bit of history. This is not English Heritage, this is just history. I'm going to bring up a video on screen and just play you a few moments of this, because we were very fortunate. If I hide that and bring this up on screen, and it's on screen now. I'm going to take the logo off. It's on screen now. Okay, it is on screen now. I'm going to take that heading off. I'm going to take the logo off. Okay, this is all preparation. And what we're going to do is, I know I said castles and country houses. What we're actually going to do, if I go back to the classic version and I take the logo off screen so you can see full screen, okay, is I'm going to put this video full screen.
Is ironclad ship built in Great Britain, and it's steam powered, not sail powered, and we're just going to walk alongside to give you an idea of the size of this. Over there is a tower, 385 feet, I think. You can actually go up in a lift to the top, but we're concentrating on the shipping today as we're at the dockyards. Welcome to HMS Warrior, Her Majesty's ship Warrior, or His Majesty's ship as it was when it was commissioned. And this is just an amazing place as I pan round. We're actually, the estuary is over there, and we have all the buildings on the right. As usual, I'm broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and my website, live from Portsmouth in England, as Angelica and I do our tour of Hampshire. Okay, so I'm trying to avoid people. And hello.
Are you going on board?
No, we're not.
No,
Okay. I think you're not allowed to photograph on board, hence his question, which is a fair one. Today we're just taking a walk around the dockyards as opposed to touring the facilities. It's wonderful because you can actually get onto the dockyards for free, which is what we've done today, and you can walk around and you can film and nobody's going to stop you. So I'm going to go as far as here and then turn around and watch Angelica coming towards us, and we'll turn around and head back because we don't know what's going to come next. We've just done this part, so Angelica's going to follow me as I turn around. Hey, come here! Right, okay. So we've not been here before, so whatever we see next is a mystery to us as well as to you. But this is Portsmouth, which was the foremost naval dockyard. We've just learnt earlier this morning that the first ships to leave England for Australia in the 1700s left from Portsmouth, and we saw the site where they actually left from. That's the first 11 ships to actually go to Australia, and that coincides with the founding of Australia, and it's part of history. And I did photograph it this morning, but I didn't have the video on, so you'll see photographs of that later. And you can see over on the far side is the train station, which comes in from Portsmouth. You can catch a train from here straight into London. It's very accessible. Also from here, Angelica and I were just talking about, we've been on the ferry from here across to France, and you can go on the Sea Cat or the hovercraft from here across to the Isle of Wight. And this really is a seafaring town. You can smell the sea air. And we'll go up to that welcome sign and I'll give you an official welcome. Okay, I'm going to film film until I actually run out of battery power, possibly. But if you are watching live, thank you. I cannot see your comments at the moment because we are... Right, so welcome, how to navigate the dockyard. So, can you see the "You Are Here" sign? Possibly not, but we're going to take a walk around and see how far we get. And Angelica is just behind me, reading the signs. Okay, so I'm going to go straight up here. This area is still closed off until 1995. This was the official Royal Navy dockyard, and then in 1995 it moved up to Scotland, and perhaps Peter Stewart could give us a tour of the Scottish facility. And there's Boat Building and Heritage Skills Centre, teaching people how to build boats. I think I just got away with that. We had, as you saw there, armed police, and you're not supposed to photograph the police, so hopefully this video, well, it's going live so they can't really do anything about it, but we're not supposed to photograph our police, especially when they're armed. You don't want to upset them. Okay, now, since 1995 this has become essentially a tourist attraction, and there are 11 different attractions within the immediate Dockyard area, including the Mary Rose, which was Henry VIII's ship, which sunk and was rescued and has been restored, or is in the process of being restored to what it was. Now we're coming up to an area that I don't think I can go past. It looks very formidable, does that gate. Henry VIII, 500 years worth the walk. And I think what we have here is that you can't go past. It's certainly a very secure place. This is the first time Angelica and I have been. So, all visitors this way. I think we should obey, given the armed police, that we should do as we're told. And I'll just film on the way out. Okay, so we've got the Mary Rose, HMS Victory, which was Nelson's ship, HMS M33, which I know anything about, National Museum of the Royal Navy, and the galleries. So we're headed, and we're going to try and find the Mary Rose. Now you've got to bear in mind that this morning Angelica and I were taken on a private walking tour by Steve of Portsmouth of the past, and we had a wonderful hour and a half walk around old Portsmouth and a guided tour, which was first class. We saw things that we wouldn't have even thought about going to see in old Portsmouth. Everything was explained to us, and we've discovered when we actually got back to the quayside that it's time he'd ever done it. And congratulations to him. We'll put a link to his page. He needs some support. He's just started these walking tours. We were the first ever people to do it, apart from his friends. We were both very impressed by it, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
Yes, we were. So that's Angelica. And wow. Now you're seeing this for the first time as I see, and Angelica sees this for the first time. That is quite a sight. Let's see if we can get closer. It's got guardrails all around it, but we're going to try and climb the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps up, and this is just incredible. Now you're not allowed to film on board the ships, but you can film the exterior, which is what I'm doing, as you know, at the moment. So just a reminder, we're at Portsmouth Naval Dockyards. We're conducting our own walking tour, and we're delighted that you could join us. That is just, you can go on board any of these, but for today we've just decided that we're going to return to Portsmouth and spend the full day here, because we've only got sort of half a day. There are 11 different attractions and we can't possibly do them all in one day, but this is just stunning. I'm sure Angelica's somewhere near. As we walk up, British flag proudly flying, as we walk to the stern. Okay. As I say, this is the first time that we've seen this, so Mary Rose Museum, HMS Victory, and Refreshments. Okay, so let's find out a little bit more about what we're looking at. And it says here the conservation continues. In 2012, the National Museum of the Royal Navy and HMS Victory, so this is HMS Victory, which was Nelson's ship, embarked upon a £40 million 25-year programme of conservation to ensure the Victory is preserved for future generations. As a part of this process, visitors have a unique opportunity to see beneath Victory's skin. Shipwrights will use traditional skills, now we saw the school a moment ago, will use traditional skills to replace the planking to keep rainwater out and keep the historic structure dry and free from rot. So that's it. That is, can you imagine sailing on that ship? Can you imagine going up to the crow's nest up there, having to climb that, as Angelica said earlier, in stormy seas. And you can see the cannon all lined up to fire against enemy ships, a broadside in battle. And the Nelson fought a famous victory, defeating the Spanish and the French, with Nelson in command. Let's move on.
Right, so you've just been on a tour of Portsmouth Dockyards, part of Portsmouth Dockyards. We were down there 2 weeks ago, and I used the home gimbal to actually capture it live. We went live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and on my website. And the live video then gets uploaded to YouTube. I can play YouTube video in my Live Studio, so therefore I'm able to play my back catalogue. We've got about 14 different videos now shot over the weeks, and it gives me a chance to actually play a snippet during any live broadcast on Amazon. It also gives me a chance to actually change my set. So I can hide the video now. I know you can't see it, but I can. And what I'm going to do is go over here, and hopefully I'll find over here. It gives me a chance, as I said a moment ago, to actually change my set. And I can bring in the shared screen. I can take myself off, and I can go picture in picture. Okay, time to get gardening. No, it's not. It's time to switch over from English Heritage to the National Trust. Now, the National Trust is the second organisation in England which looks after property. Okay, property is donated to the National Trust, and then they take over the maintenance of it. They then take subscriptions, and subscriptions allow them to maintain the properties. That's it. That's the equation. It's not more complicated than that. So we tour National Trust properties as well, but I'm just going to take you to the National Trust site and show you the sort of thing that they actually do. Okay, so this is the National Trust site, and as I scroll down, you can see that as Karen's watching over on Amazon Live, thank you, and Chris has just mentioned the places I'm actually showing you are dog friendly. I can confirm that, Chris. And they're family friendly too. And you've got, I mean, this is, I have a reason for doing all this, and that's the reason. It's the Fitbit Inspire. I try and do 10,000 steps a day, and walking at the weekend around the English Heritage and National Trust properties is my way of staying fit. I also walk along the canal, which I'll show you some other time. But let's go back to the National Trust. Take the title off screen because you know what it is now. And it is a great place to go walking because these properties all have gardens and they have land attached to the castles, and you can just go out and about and enjoy the countryside. Now, I'm going to take you. It says there, plan your visit. Let's plan a visit, shall we? And I can key in days out. I selected days out, and where would you like to go? Now, in future programs, you can choose, but I'm going to choose my location at the moment, and it's going to come up with properties. Now, we've looked at Laycock Abbey in previous programs. It's one of my favorite places to visit. It is the home of Fox Talbot, who took the first ever photograph was taken from this building through a window. And it's the first, despite what the French say, it is the first ever photograph that was taken. And the other thing it's famous for, if I scroll down, is that it was a location. And I'm going down to the bottom, as you can see there, it was a location also for the filming of Harry Potter. So it is got to be on your list of places to visit, because you can go to the Photographic Museum, which shows you cameras from when Fox Talbot used his first camera. It's got his first camera there, and it goes through the whole range, through Kodak, Brownies, through Instamatics, through to the DSLRs we use today. So there is a museum there. Okay, and I've gone back a page. Also near to us is the Quartz Garden. Now, if you go over to YouTube and you type in my name, just a reminder, not that one, that's happening all the time. I don't know why that happens. Okay, you're watching Stephen Healy. If you type my name into YouTube, then you'll find videos of the places that I'm actually showing you now. And one of those is the Quartz Garden, which is an amazing place to visit. It was a former industrial estate, and now it's the most magnificent gardens you could ever wish to visit. So just type my name into Google and I'll go picture in picture again. Okay, Quartz Garden, Great Chalfield, all these properties are in, well, they're close to me, and Angelica, and very lucky we are. And if you come to Wiltshire, not only can you visit the properties that you can see here, but we might be able to meet up. Okay, so let's go down. I'm looking for one I can talk to you about, and this is my favorite National Trust property. This is Stourhead, and Stourhead is worth a day's visit. Don't go for it. You need to walk around. You need to walk around the gardens. You need to go up to the tower above the gardens. You need to climb the spiral staircase of the tower and get to the top and look out over 3 or 4 counties at the same time. But this is a glorious place to visit any time of year. Autumn, obviously, when the trees are changing colour, it's just spectacular. And if I'm enthusiastic about this, I am. Okay. They do have special events at Christmas. If you're visiting Christmas, you'll be finding the park all lit up. But you've got the garden, and the garden you can actually walk around with your dog, and you can just explore. You can walk for miles, and then you've got the house itself. You can actually, if I click on the photograph, that is the house, and I'm going to risk it. I'm nothing if not daring. I'm going to switch my microphone off, and we're going to play the video. Right, I'm still here. I'm just going to hide that. I've got a question in from Chris. It was captioned. I don't know if we can have sound. If you'd like to hear that with sound, I'll play it again next week with sound. In the meantime, if you want to go to YouTube, if you type in Starhead, you can play the video in full glorious color with sound and with the captioning. Okay. So back to the National Trust properties. I'm just going to stop that video, which I did. I'm just going to escape and close it. So if I go back to showing this on screen, there is the house itself, and you can tour in your own time. And say hello to Corinda, who's saying he was live. I enjoyed the cooking show earlier, Corinda. Thank you for that. That was very good. Yes, well done. And your assistant, well, the chef as well, because you were producing the show. Your chef was on as well. Okay. So the house is just part of the story. The big part of the story, if I go back from the house, is the grounds and the countryside around and the famous garden. Let's just go over to the garden for a moment. And this is the garden at Starhead. It is quite, I'm just checking my microphone's on, Chris. It is quite a magnificent property. You can walk around the hillside, you can walk amongst the trees. Look at the beautiful colours. And it's hills and water and classical architecture. And the summer highlights in the garden are the pelargoniums, the tree collection, and I've mentioned the beautiful colours in autumn, the summer borders, which are turning into autumn now, and then the water and the show-stopping lake. The lake is just, it's one of the wonders of Starhead. And then you have a temple to visit and the grotto. I've done filming in the grotto. I'll find it and play it in a future episode of this broadcast. And then you have the cross, which is the entrance to Starhead, and then the famous bridge. Now, you used to be able to walk over the Palladium Bridge. You can't do that anymore, but you can marvel at its design. And then you can go to the Temple of Apollo and go to the Gothic Cottage, which you can go inside, and then the Rock Arch. So there are so many things to see and do at Starhead. You can see why it's one of Angelica and I's favourite places. Right, okay, you have been watching, and I do thank you for watching this live broadcast on Amazon Live, a tour of English castles and English country gardens at their best. I'll be back again same time next week with another selection. Remember, we're doing the A to Z of castles and quite possibly the A to Z of country houses with sound. So I just have a blast actually broadcasting Amazon Live. I want to say thank you to Amazon. If you want to check the carousel, please do at any time. I'm live, or even when I'm not live, you can check the carousel. It's still there. The recording is still there. If you came here via a link, that link will work tomorrow. It will work the day after. It will work forever. Okay, tomorrow is my country walks, and you saw earlier the video I did in Portsmouth. With Angelica at the weekend, I visited Avebury Stone Circle. Now, you've quite probably heard of Stonehenge. Yes, okay. Avebury Stone Circle is about 25 miles away from Stonehenge and was built at the same time. There is a village and a church in the middle of the circle. And tomorrow night, I shall be playing my video about our visit to Avebury Stone Circle. So join me tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. in the UK, 7 p.m. in Belgium, and we'll go on a tour of Avebury and we'll look at country walks. Country walking with Stephen is tomorrow. And on Thursday is lights, camera, action. It's been my pleasure to present a taste of what England is like, and what it used to be like, and what it will be like when you actually come to visit us. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye for now. Thank you to Chris, Karen, Corinda, and I've got a comment coming in, which will show at the bottom of the screen. Thank you so much, Chris is saying. You're most welcome, Chris. So thank you to Chris, thank you to Corinda, thank you to Karen, and all of whom, and to Bert, and to, if I don't think he's still here, but and to David Vaughan, everybody who's watched live on Facebook. Thank you for joining. This has been Stephen, says so there, and take care. See you all again soon. Bye.